Hello everyone, welcome back to the Big Bad Bench. My name is John, aka Big Bad Biologist, and today, look at this guy. Look at this guy. This is a Voodoo 5 5500. We're going to build a system around it using, let me show you this absurd monstrosity of a case that's reflecting so much that it's changing how my camera wants to interact with me. Look at this case. Look at this ridiculous, ridiculous case, but it's actually kind of cool. Look at this thing. Oh my god, this is silly. I love it so much. Look at that wraparound glass. This is glass, folks. Where there's a good chance I'm gonna break this during today's stream. So we are gonna build a system around that Voodoo 5 5500 in this absurd case. This is gonna be fun. So let's set this aside for now and let's look at the Big Bad Bench and all the junk we have on it. First thing we need to do is finish recapping this board. So this is our board. This board is a, what is this board? I think I found it. Nope, not that. That is something else. This is the board. It's a DFI CA64TC, and it's a Pentium III Tualatin board, and so that's what we're doing here. And so take a look at this stuff. This is some other stuff that's going to go in this system. And let me say hi to folks in the chat. We got Starbuck Tech, Garth Beagle, Epictronics, All Things DG, Zodium. How's it going, Zodium? Good to see you live, my friend. Ian Scott's here too. Hello. All right. So here's this guy. You can see that we've recapped most of this board already. I also want to point out this processor. So it's a Tualatin processor. QHF3QS is the code on it, and from my searching, that seems to be a Celeron 1200, but this system seems to pick it up. Yeah, there's no other designation on the back. And so for the Celeron Tualatins, they ran at 100 megahertz frontside bus, so it would be 12 times 100. But it's picking up as a 10 times 133, so it's running it at 1.3 gigahertz. And I know that we played with this board before briefly, and I set it to that, but I didn't have a CMOS battery in it or anything, and so it should have reset. So I don't know what's going on with this thing. So whatever. So it's weird. I'm not remembering properly if the Celerons had downward unlocked multipliers. So anyway, it should be fun to play with. Hey, Bacchus is here. Enduro 20. All right. So, oh yeah, the JONSBO. I don't know how to say that. It's one of those companies that I've only seen and not actually ever heard anyone talk about. Oh, something's moving. It probably doesn't help that I'm leaning the motherboard on this thing. So we're going to use Chungus iron just because these boards tend to have pretty big power planes. I already removed the solder using the solder sucker. Oh yeah, and so because that CPU is a little weird, I actually pulled out another board or another system from a long time ago that I built for my aunt and uncle. I guess it might have been about 20 years ago at this point. And so you might have seen that in my thumbnail, I have a computer inside of a RC car body, and so I built that using that. Okay, where's the last one? Where's our... Uh-oh. Did I lose my... Oh, nope, it's already gone. Yep. Okay, it's right here. Okay, this guy is going to go there. Oh yeah, and I also need to do some updates about assorted projects. We got a lot to do today. I have one computer with a Celeron 700 running at 528 due to an unsupported clock multiplier. Yeah, that's another thing that might actually be happening here. I mean, this board does have one newer BIOS revision than what I have in it, but it seems to be fine otherwise. We're using big solder on this, big iron, get that heat in there and float on our capacitors as quickly as possible. We're also going to kind of use the soldering iron as heat today because I ran out of propane from my space heater right before the stream kicked off. So this is, I might only last a while. It's freaking cold out. Okay. So actually, yeah, let's set this aside and let's look at that weird little computer that I built for my aunt and uncle. So let's get rid of the solder. Oh, there's too much crap on the big bad bench. Ooh, sorry. So here's the whole thing. You can see the chassis. I think this is made out of stainless steel. I forget. If anyone knows which motherboard this was a fairly famous motherboard back in the day. The power supply is also naked from that same system. These were one of the first boards that ever needed to be recapped. So, okay. But yeah, this was a full computer that they used for a long time. It's not quite ITX. That's one of the fun bits about this. It's still dusty. I haven't cleaned it since they gave it back to me a year or two ago. I'm gonna need a thing here. And so yeah, this has a Tualatin processor, so you know it's not a VIA Eden. Oh god, this is gross. Oh, it's gross. That's gross. But as Zodium mentions, these things do overclock really well. Oh man, we're not gonna be able to get the processor out. Oh no, I think I got it on just enough. Just enough. Don't lick my fingers. I should have, if you saw my social media, you saw that I got a computer from, or a board from III DIY, and he sent along some black gloves to hide some beers, and I should be using those black gloves right now. All right, so what is this processor? Uh-oh. John thermal paste application 20 years ago. Not ideal. Not ideal. They used this computer a long time, and it was at their business, so they it just was on all day, every day, for probably 10, 15 years. All right, so, come on, there you go. SL5 GQ. All right, what kind of processor is this one? Ah, okay. So this is a Pentium III 1.13 gigahertz. Zodium says they do run cool, but the internet will try to crucify me. Look at that. That's pretty bad. So I don't know. We'll have to, I don't know if we'll be able to do all this today because I got a lot of stuff to do for this system, but I might start off with the original Celeron. We might have to do some testing. I know that this one works, but it's nice to know that I have a Pentium III 1. Oh yeah, there it is. It's on the top. 1.13 gigahertz up there. But this one's running at 1.3 gigahertz. So let's stick with this one for the time being. We might go back to it. We'll see. We'll see. We got time. No, I don't know how much time we have until my workshop freezes. Okay. All right. So I think we're recapped for the most part. RAM. And so what we're gonna do, this is my special collection of KingMax PC 150 RAM. This is gonna run predominantly Windows 98. I think these are 128 gig sticks. These are 512. Okay, so I got two 512s and I think I have two 128s, or four 128s. So let's stick with two of these. 256 is generally plenty for Windows 98. And we're going to need some thermal compound. Yes, the cold is not great for media. I keep it above freezing in here, but above freezing is also not pleasant. There's a difference between pleasant and above freezing. No, I don't want to run 4x128. I have 4 PC 150, but I'm not going to run 4. I'm only going to run 2. Don't want to do well, there are patches that you can install, but generally if you're running Windows 98, things can get a little wonky if you run more than 256 megs. All right, get on there, you little heatsink. There we go. I do want to find a prettier heatsink for this thing too. This board was in a bunch of EWaste that I bought, and it got a little damaged. The PCI slot has some marring. There's a few scratches on the back. Okay, so but that I think is our core setup. I also found these sexy black IDE and floppy cables. So we'll use those. So we're not using any spitting rust in this. For now, I'm using a compact flash or SD to IDE adapter. It's got a 32 gig card in it, and I didn't realize that it's only configured as a 2 gig partition, which is kind of annoying. So we also have a Sound Blaster Audigy and a QLogic SCSI card, because of course we need to throw blue SCSI into this thing eventually. Can't have a system without blue SCSI. All right, let's take this power supply out of here. I don't think we're going to use this power supply, or I hope to not use this power supply. I'd like to use something a little bit more reliable. I mean, this is fine for my bench power supply. This is a Roseville. You can see that it's got good amperage on the 3.3 and 5 volt rails, which is useful for older stuff. But I have a slightly different one that I want to use. Okay, so let's get rid of these. Let's clean off our big bad bench again. And let's lay down this monstrosity of a case. I get so excited when I look at this thing. I've wanted one of these forever. You know that we normally buy crap. We buy EWaste here on the Big Bad Bench most of the time. That was something I actually spent a little bit of money for. I normally don't pay that much money for stuff, but this was an exception. I don't know what they're really worth, but I paid 200 bucks, which I was okay with. I was not happy about it, but I was okay with it. All right, so this case, thumb screws, thumb screws, thumb screws, thumb screws. So we're gonna take off those thumb screws. Did I say thumb screws? Okay. Oh, jeez. And here's our glass panel. It might be a little dirty from having flux. Gut bomb is late and is catching up at 2x. I am so gonna break this side panel. Oh my god. Whose idea was it to let me buy one of these? So let's see if we can capture some of that beautiful curve glass. No, we can't, but we'll try to come back to it. Where am I gonna put this without destroying it? Oh my god. All right, what else do we have in this case? Oh, look, that's what happens. I just like throw junk everywhere. That's why I can't have nice things. All right, so here's our back panel. Oh, back panel is held on with screws. That's kind of weird. Normally everything is thumb screws of these days. Hey, Jamie's Hack Shack. His luck would not be a good match for that. Yeah, me neither. Oh no, it's actually glass. This thing is really for real glass. Okay, so we got some wires. Okay, so one of the things is this case has USB-C and USB 3. The USB 3 is actually okay. We can actually use a little USB 3 to USB 2 adapter so that we can use those ports, which is very cool. You do need to be careful with older motherboards. Sometimes they did not use this more modern USB 2 standard where the grounds are over on this side and then the other stuff. This board appears to have a standard layout. This is, what is this one? Oh, this is the audio connector. We're not going to be able to use that, unfortunately. So we'll hide that. And this is the front panel connector, which we're going to need to take these pins out. And so that's what I was looking up earlier. I couldn't remember off the top of my head. But normally this one is going to be our power. Pop that out. Gut bomb's catching up. Lol the car. Lol the car? That car is epic, man. Okay. So we'll reuse this old guy. And theoretically, this should be pin 1. It sort of fits. Some are like slightly different from others. And also I probably have broken it and taken other ones out. Okay, so there's that. So that should be our power LED. That was one of the issues with this board, is that if you take a look at the front panel, this is very much a non-standard front panel connector. All right, so then this one should be the power switch. Duro 20, a glass desk came from Aldi? I didn't know Aldi's had furniture. We have Aldi's here, but they're just groceries. I thought they were just groceries everywhere. That shows you how little I know about world stuff. I know that Aldi used to sell Commodore 64s, but I could understand that a grocery store would want to sell Commodore 64s. Oh. Grocery stores here sell random weird crap sometimes. Alright, so we're just going to take this out. This one says power LED on it. I'm sorry, but we just need to reuse this two dealy, and this is going to be for the power switch. Hey, and Eric's Edge is here. Okay, so that's that. We got our front panel connectors set up now. All right, so this is one of the other reasons I got this case. I thought this was actually kind of cool. So there's a 3.5-inch hard drive bay here, and I think that we would be able to mount a floppy drive in here if we hack out, oh, you can't see that, if we hack out this part right here, we can make our floppy drive accessible. So if we get that far today, we'll hack this out, and yeah, we'll have an externally usable floppy drive, which is very cool on a modern case. Yeah, angle grinder time indeed. Okay, another thing we need to do. All right, where did I put that? Okay. I'm all over the place here, folks. Sorry. This is the power supply I want to use. It's a Corsair CX750M, and I found these power modular cables in my drawer of modular cables. Always got to be careful. So the one that I know works here says, oh god, I hit a thing. What did I hit? There we go. Okay, sorry about that. The one that I know works here says type 3. With modular cables, even though they plug in, you have to double check and make sure that they're actually the right kind. And if you don't, then you can send voltages to the wrong places. And so let's double check to make sure our voltages are going to the right places here. Plug you in over here. Nope, that goes like that. Okay, got a voltmeter. So it doesn't like not having a one of these plugged in. Fine, we'll do this. Sorry, power supply tester. It likes having that installed too. Okay. volt DC. Maybe I could just use the power supply detector to do this, but whatever. Oh. So our middle ones should be ground. So if we hold up, if we check across both of those, we should have nothing. That one should be 12. That one should be 5. Okay, yeah, I think that's good. I think that's good. Let's just double check. Yeah, 5 is on that side. 5 is on this side. Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna use this power supply in this beast. This one actually has about the same amount of power on the 5 and 3.3 volt rails, but it's actually just going to be easier for like connecting floppies and whatnot, because I have multiples of these things, so that I can get whatever connected anywhere. Okay, here's our JONSBO dealies. What do they give us in this little box? Or bag. This is a bag. Okay, so these are for the motherboard. These are for hard drive. This is for SSD. Oh, they give you a little tool for the standoffs. These are the same for the power supply. Wish they would have given you white screws with this. That would have made it prettier. Okay, we're gonna get rid of this ugly one and use one of the real. This is one that I modified from serial ATA, so that would also have a regular Molex and Berg connector. Hey, Callan. Finally a day off from work. Nice, congratulations. Okay. The other thing I liked about this case is that supposedly it takes regular ATX power supplies. Yes. If that didn't work, then we would have had a bad stream, because I don't have any SFX power supplies. The other thing we're going to need to do is figure out which I/O shield we want to use here. Where did my I/O shields go? So while I'm screwing in this power supply, so we have this kind, we have this one, we have this one, we have this one. Oh, you can't really see it. So let's bring them up closer. That one, that one, that one. I have 3 of those. I think that's the nicest one out of those 3. And I have that one. I like this one with the pretty colors, but then this one has a it says for it to monitor instead of 2 serials, so I don't like that one. Yeah, in the US, Aldi used to be sort of thought of as a discount food store. I remember making a joke that my partner's grandmother used to go there to buy dented meat, but I think they've been turning it around. A lot of the stuff I've seen lately looks pretty good coming out of Aldi's. I think we're gonna try to use this one. I don't know if this one's gonna fit in here. This is a weird I/O shield. It's got like this lip on the bottom. Oh yeah, that one's not gonna work. This one needs to flip up around. I think this was for a specialized case. Okay, so that eliminates one of our possibilities. All right, I think we're gonna use this guy. We're gonna use this guy. All right, before we put this in, let's just double check to make sure that things aren't all bent all over the place. That should be good. And so this isn't a super expensive case. I got it on sale. I think it was around 90 bucks. Again, that's more than I would like to pay for a silly project, but I think for a case with that much glass in it, it's kind of an okay deal. There we go. Okay, so there's that. The power supply connector on this thing is going to run up through here. So let's go back through here. This thing is a giant freaking case. Sorry for the non-ideal camera work here. I'm doing my best. Okay, yeah, so we can sneak this up through here. I think that'll be fine. Okay. Oh, they give us little washers. Should we put on the little washers? I'm not a big fan of those little washers. We're gonna skip the little washers. Okay, I just remembered something that you should always do when you get a new computer case. Check to make sure that the standoffs are actually tight. I've had it before where they're loose and then you go and things don't line up properly. Ian Scott uses the washers. Ew. If they were like black or white or something, but these little red washers, I don't know. I'm not a fan. Okay, they're tight. Let's plug this in. Oh, that's gonna be ugly. I'll have to hide that somewhere. Gut bombs caught up. All right. I do like some of the other cases where that center stud is going to have like a little ridge on it, and then the board kind of snaps in there. That's a nice little touch. You need to know more about Carputer. I mean, there's not a whole lot. My uncle used to, well, he still builds cars, but he was sort of famous for a little while for building Woodies, classic cars, the Woody style. They're they require an incredible amount of effort to make all the wood and restore properly. And he built several of them over the years. And so I just built them this computer. They were always good to me growing up, so I built them a computer at one point for their shop. They owned a furniture store, and so it was their work computer for a long time. Okay. So the metal was cut out. So I designed all of that and just used a bandsaw. My dad had a pretty good workshop back in the day, and so he sourced the metal, and then I cut out all the bits. He made the my dad was a machinist, so he made the little the legs on that were machined aluminum, so he made those for me. Okay, so we got rid of these. Oh, there's like a permanent little etch in the case. Oh God, that's ugly. Oh, it's so ugly. Okay, that's in. Let's connect up our front panel stuff. Yeah, I should probably do like a history of some of the weird computers I built over the years before I started doing YouTube. I've made quite a few. I like to build weird computers. Alright, so I'm thinking about like how best to run our cables so that they're more invisible. So these are ones we're gonna need. So let's put those off to the side. These are not gonna be usable. So these are gonna have to be tied up. So let's just tie them up right now. We'll use one of these white zip ties that they gave us. Yeah, most RC car bodies are going to be transparent before they're painted. This is going to get hidden. Sit you back here. And so this might not be the final cable management, and so I don't get on my case too much if there's still cables kind of like this, but I like to do like a preliminary kind of cable management for a system like this, just to kind of get stuff out of my way and to visualize things better. Yeah, the Lunchbox was a pretty awesome truck back in the day. What are you talking about, Gutbomb? I am a quality PC builder, man. Undo that. These will run down here somewhere. Stick you in there for the time being. Okay, so then these, where can we make these so they're less visible? There's a little divot there. There's another little divot there. I guess we can run them. Oh, this is another thing. What do you think? Should I plug in a blue LED fan? It seems kind of appropriate for a system of this era. I only have one though. Okay, so yeah, let's put this up here like this. Put that down there like that. Yeah, I think this will work. Okay. Ooh, I think I do still have a blue cold cathode somewhere. Well, that's the thing, Garth. This isn't RGB. This is just B. Let's see. That goes like that. I always need to make sure all my zip ties are aligned the same way. That's something that makes my brain itch if they're not. Yeah, this Thermaltake fan did seize up, but I did unseize it. Yeah, I think this will look pretty nice. I think it'll look great. We'll be able to hide that pretty well. Oh, of course we get down here and this thing's the wrong way. It's not my fault. That's how it came from JONSBO. Yep, do one more of those. Oh, we're out of the pre-supplied zip ties. Gonna have to go get some. Now if we flip this over. Okay, so if I remember correctly, I made this one pin 1 for the power LED. And this one should be our power switch. We're gonna have to separate that a little bit. And I think we'll have to run. This might get a little ugly right here. Might need to do something special later. Yeah, actually that can help use that. Yeah, we'll be able to do that. Bring that up here like this. Okay. That'll be a little bit ugly, but I think it'll be okay. Now, I think I have to try to remember which slots. I think the sound card was in that slot. If you don't put your sound card, or if you don't put your PCI slots in the right slot with a Windows 98 install, you can cause some issues. Okay, so this case is a little wonky. Some of the rear covers are break off and some are screw on. So they were trying to help us and then decided, nah, we don't need all of them. I guess that's if you put a micro ATX motherboard in there. Okay, put that in there like that. Theoretically, we could figure out, so this is a Sound Blaster Audigy, we might be able to like hook up the front panel audio connectors to this if you look up the dealie, but I don't really care that much about the front panel audio on this system. Come on, screwdriver. There we go. Okay, let's take this one off. And our SCSI card was in this slot. Yeah, I mean, back in the day, this built-in audio on these boards was pretty awful. So you definitely needed a sound card. It's nice to have a SCSI card. All right, here we go. Our thing de resistance. Like it was made for it. So it's cool that this fits in here and all. Oh, that's a back panel. But this is not going to be the final state of this video card. Yes, Ian Scott, that is a great point. It is very cool that ancient motherboards can fit into modern computers. The staying power of ATX is neat. I don't know. I feel also that it kind of held us back in some ways, but whatever. Oh, look, and we got a little slot right here. We're going to be able to slide these cables right through here. We are going to hide the heck out of these cables. I might have to put a screen inside this computer. I do love screens inside of computers. Okay, we'll do this from the back. Little self-contained system. Oh, I did it the wrong way. Wrong way. Needs to flip around. Mac84 is here. How's it going, Steve? Yes, for those of you that didn't see my little short that I posted yesterday, make sure to check that out. I won't give it away. Okay. Gutbomb says the short made him poop his pants. Yeah, you should have seen me. You saw the camera kind of move. Look at that. That's nice. That is some cable management. Okay. All right, let's plug this in and see if this thing turns on. Some of you might have noticed this little guy hiding right here. It's probably kind of hard to see, but that's sort of intentional. All right, let's plug in some junk, some peripherals. I mean, those little white, black and white CRTs, the little 9-inch white CRTs seem to be very interchangeable, or even the color CRTs seem to be very interchangeable. Oh, right, that's why I wanted these. Yep, Bacchus says make sure to plug in the Molex. Gonna have to come up with a way to make that less visible. Although I guess, all right, yeah, no, never mind. That's not really important. Plug it in the Molex. This has to be the worst cinematography. DIY is going to be so angry. This case is just too big for filming on the Big Bad Bench. All right. Hard drive's plugged in. Things are plugged in. Need some electricity. Just in case I've plugged in something wrong and we get sparks, make sure that you see that. Okay, rear power switch on. Got a power LED on the motherboard. 3, 2, 1. Nope, gonna need a speaker. We got main screen turn on. And it's going to be kind of hard to see, but it says 1.33 gigahertz times 10, or 133 megahertz times 10. Oh yeah, I don't have the floppy drive plugged in. Let's go into the, oh, I don't have the keyboard plugged in. Ooh, and the front front LED is white. That's pretty. Okay, I'm gonna try to not electrocute myself here. All right, so first off, I gotta plug in a keyboard. Need a keyboard, folks. Okay, let's try that again. "64 megs of video RAM." Go into our BIOS. Let's get rid of our floppy for the time being, because I don't think we're going to have time to set that properly up today. How old is that TV? Does it radiate heat? Are you kidding me, man? This thing is a beast. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. No, that's good. We're good. So this was a very old CRT. So basically this was when Micro Center had a sale for this. I think it was $800. That was a deal. It's $800 or $600. So this is a 46-inch. It's supposed to be 1080p. It's not really 1080p, but it accepts a lot of different stuff. It's got component. Oh, I forgot to plug in the sound card. Let's see. All right, let's see if this works. Play some Quake 2. We got audio. Let's go to options. Let's go to video. It's currently in software render mode. Video. OpenGL. 3D effects, OpenGL. 1024, 768. Can we go that high? Let's start with 1024 by 768. That and that. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is good. Look at all them pixels. Look at all them pixels. Hey, Eric Rangel. Hey, you get shot, man. Oh no, it's a different guy. Sweet. All right. Now, here's the thing. So we know we got 3D effects mode. I've installed a bunch of these things. We need to do a benchmark real quick. So 3D Mark 2000 should be the, let's see, let's change this. We don't need that. I don't think we need any of these. So we need to check the performance of this video card before we do the next thing that I want to do. So we've unselected all that. We left all those. Let's run this benchmark. Oh, Ian Scott says that looks like software rendering. Maybe I didn't have it. Maybe, I don't know. It says it was running in 3D effects mode. Maybe I didn't confirm that. It is also blowing 1024 by 768 up onto a big screen, but I should. Oh, and I didn't get the 3D effects logo. Normally when you do 3D effects stuff, you get a little logo when it boots up. So maybe I didn't have that set up right. I'm gonna have to play with that. I'm ultimately going to need to redo this whole software installation because the 32 gig drive is only being seen as 2 gigs. I think what I'm ultimately going to do is use one of these laptop adapter dealies for mounting a SSD into. I think that's going to be my real storage solution for this thing. But the compact flashes are nice to get set up. So 3D Mark 2001, I think, started using the transform lighting thing. If Tech Ambrosia were here, she'd be able to tell us all the things. So, but I think 2001 was actually biased more, well, not biased. It weighed heavier on the stuff that 3D or NVIDIA was starting to do at the time. I think 2000 is still like raw hardware. Oh, Zodium, that's a really good idea. Chuck one of those SATA adapters in there. That's a great idea. I have some of those. So I need to check my score here because we're going to do something that might actually break this thing. What do I have here? I know I have some that Eric made me. They might be, I don't know if the ones that are flash for Mac still work on PC or not. Where are you, little guys? What? Is there an empty bag in here? So this is a 3112 that I have. That this is supposedly. Oh yeah, it's got the BIOS chip has been changed. Thank you, Eric Helgeson, for doing these for me. Hey, Trina's here. Hello, Trina. Just got to make sure you have one of the IDE BIOSes flashed to it. Okay. But I think with the ROM that Eric has put on this for me, it should make it easier to do the reflashing. Okay, 3456. Someone write that down. I guess I should write it down because I'm the only one here. 3456. Okay. Why do we care about the performance of this guy? All right, so let's shut this all off. This is a pretty quick little system. There's even more headroom. I think we'll be able to get this thing going even faster. Hey, Avo G, welcome. All right, so let's go back to here. So it's cool that this computer has a big glass side panel and that we have a Voodoo 5 in it. But if you think about like how this is going to look on the desk, you're not going to be able to see that it's a Voodoo 5, right? And I mean, that's part of the joy of having something like this. You gotta show the thing off. So I think what I want to do is like jank up a vertical GPU mount in this dealie, which is part of the reason I don't really care that this cable is not so great. Okay. So, take you out for this a moment. And we have this. So I bought this from Mod DIY. Took a little while to get here, but it eventually got here. Oh, okay, I'm gonna shut the power off, because sometimes when you plug cards into the AGP slot, it can cause things to turn on. So, then we just kind of need to figure out where this is going to go, right? So like something like that. Actually, oh, this might actually work really well. Yeah. Sorry, folks, you're sort of watching me think here out loud. Yeah, look at that. That's gonna fit perfectly. I'll be able to hack out this thing and screw that in there. Yeah, this is gonna work great. All right, so let's plug this in. We're gonna leave this dangling. People are gonna freak out that I'm gonna leave this dangling like this. It's totally safe. Totally safe. Yeah. Oh, let's switch to III DIY cam. Let's see if we can get this sort of in focus. So it's, there we go. Now, all right, let's see if this So this is eventually gonna sit in there. We'll make it all nice and square. But that should look pretty epic. Let's see if I can get this a little further away from the camera to make it somewhat more visible. Make it nice and pretty. Hold on, let me get rid of some junk off the big bad bench so I can try to center that. Make sure I don't drop anything on that side panel. Of course, we still have these hanging out on the big bad bench. We really don't need them anymore. There we go. All right, let's see if this thing turns on. All right, don't short out on me, ATX riser, or AGP riser. Be nice. 3, 2, 1. It is indeed a Molex. Yep. Oh, we got main screen turn on. No. There we go. That's how some high-powered video cards needed external power before PCI Express power was a thing, Trina. Oh, forgot to plug in the sound again. Let's restart real quick so we can hear the startup sound. We also are going to need to check to see if the blue SCSI actually works in this guy. Where did I put my PC blue SCSI? Oh, there you are. Gotta do that. Good point, Gutbomb. Thanks for reminding me. If you folks wouldn't mind hitting the like button, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I appreciate it. Like buttons give you bonus points for happiness. There we go. We got our creative sound on top of the Windows 98 sound. That's epic. Okay, now let's run this 3D Mark again. So the thing that's working in our favor here is apparently 3DFX's implementation of AGP was sort of crap. And so theoretically, if we introduce a little bit of noise into the AGP bus, it shouldn't affect things too bad. Bacchus, I dubbed this BBB's big voodoo anachronism. Yeah, so there's like an AGP to PCI adapter in there somewhere, and it's not all. It's supposedly the difference in speed between the PCI versions and the AGP versions were basically nothing. Benchmark, you fool. Look at this thing go. What time is it? Oh, we're already after 1 o'clock. All right. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get all the way through this, but I'm excited. I'm really excited about the direction that we're heading with this project. there's a lot of tweaking that we're going to be able to do, whether we put in the actual Pentium III processor instead of the Celeron, overclock the Pentium. We have the PC 150 RAM, so we'll be able to get the frontside bus frequency up. This board does allow overclocking in the BIOS, which is very cool. I'm not going to call this the ultimate Pentium 3 system. I guess a couple years ago I did a ultimate Pentium 3. It's a dual Tualatin system, and it's got basically a FX 5800 video card in it. That one still lives inside the house. That one's a nicer system. I think what I need to do is make like a nice shelf for behind me, and put some of my nicer systems up there in it. But this is pretty epic, and it's going to be we're going to be able to do a lot of fun tweaking. So I'm really excited about this computer. Make sure to check out my social medias. I'll put updates to this computer. I don't know if we will do another stream on it, but I will post updates about this computer on social media. Callan says, you're giving me the motivation to get something done for doscember. There's still time. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. So speaking of other projects, my PowerMax 6100 DOS compatible. I've fully recapped everything, the logic board, the power supply, and it's going. It's fine. Mac OS works fine. The issue that I'm having is when I go into PC mode, the screen refresh is not right, and I have it currently attached to a Apple Multiple Scan 15 monitor, which theoretically should be able to accept a lot of different frequencies, but the screen is garbled until it kicks into Windows. If I use Ron's Windows 95 image, Windows 95 will eventually boot up. There's some stuff and you have to hit enter, but eventually boots up. And it works fine there. I don't have all the drivers installed and stuff because it's just it's a pain. Okay, Brian. Yes, CCFL lighting. I think I have a CCFL tube around here somewhere that I should add into this thing. So our previous benchmark was 3456. This is 3445 with the AGP riser. So that's telling me we're not losing anything real. It's slightly lower, but I don't think that's like a real difference. I have a feeling that if we ran this again, it would be within the margin of error. So that's cool. That means that this AGP riser actually works. Sometimes with these things, you really have to be a little cautious. But I'm really excited that riser works. All right, so let's shut this down, and let's see if we can get a blue SCSI recognized by this thing. Oh no, that's that. Where's my lights? There's my lights. Okay, let's go back to scene. All right, so we got a blue SCSI. We got some Molex here. Termination on. This is an older blue SCSI, but it should be fine. We're gonna power that through here. I like it better when you all can't see me. It's better for my social anxiety. Let's see if this thing sees a blue SCSI. Oh. Have no lights on the blue SCSI. Ah! Alright, sorry, shut that off. What happens if we turn this on now? That's interesting. Could be that I don't have a real bird connector up here. I'm just using a pin header, but it's worked with other ones. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Now we got power. Don't go in the fan, you guy. Okay. Okay, boot up computer. Fun. All right, get out these things before I forget to update my other projects. Bacchus, 2 ideas here. Build a blue SCSI with the SCSI connector gendered and angled correctly to make a SCSI hard card. Oh, that's neat. 2 SD card extender to the front somewhere. Yeah, that's a possibility. All right, I see the activity light blinking ever so gently on the blue SCSI. Oh, there it is. There it is. My blue SCSI drive is showing up. Look at this. Look at this. All right, so what happens if we restart in DOS mode? Do we have D:? No, we don't have D:. That sucks. Okay. Might have to install the DOS drivers for this SCSI card in order to get it to work in DOS mode. Creative gives you a little sound, and the Windows sound theme, they overlap each other. It's really annoying. And then this stupid bar comes up. I can't figure out how to get rid of this stupid thing. Normally there's like a thing and an option that lets you change that. It's gone. All right, oh shoot, I should have gone into DOS mode anyway. But look at this. We got, what was this? I don't remember. Oh, WinImage. All right. This is epic. We got blue SCSI working in Windows 98. This is cool. Oh, Ron. Hello, Ron. Welcome to the stream. We got a new TV in the house, and so I have my 55-inch out here waiting to be used. The problem is that the 55-inch doesn't have a VGA in, or, well, it has an S-video in, which is kind of sketch, but whatever. Oh, look at this, too. I didn't even notice this. The blue SCSI CD drive is being emulated properly. How cool is that? Oh, nice. This is fun stuff. This machine is gonna be something else, man. All right, let's go back into DOS mode for a second because we need to run SpeedSys or Tech Ambrosia is gonna lose her shit. All right, CD / CD DOS bench. Oh, and we should run. So this is Phil's Computer Labs, awesome utility DOS bench. Let's run the QuakeTime demo. We'll do E. I don't know if it's really gonna do the 640 by 480. Yep, that's the 640 by 480. That is cranking. You can't see it. Oh, sorry, YouTube. 51.9 FPS. That's not too bad, but I don't think it's actually using the Voodoo card properly. Let's go run Doom just for poops and giggles. This thing is too fast to run Doom. Look at that go. Look at that go. So we got to do some DOS because this is doscember after all. Thank you, Ron, for the doscember logo, by the way. What do we get? 106.7 frames per second for DOS. That's awesome. We've got to do speed sys. So let's go to speed sys. Quake can't use OpenGL in DOS. Okay, good. Okay, so our number here is 1,547.61. And so this is interesting. So right here is the Celeron 1200 line, and this thing is between it and the Athlon 1400. I wonder what would happen if we put this back to supposedly the default Celeron 1200 speed. This thing is fast. This is a very special Pentium III Celeron thing. I'm wondering if this is an engineering sample. I don't remember. So someone remind me, if you come across this, are the Celeron Tualatins down unlocked downward from a CPU multiplier perspective? Because we are running at 1,333 megahertz. You can see here our cache. We got our initial 16K, and then we got our 256. So it's not like we have special cache or anything. That is the standard cache for a Celeron Tualatin. So this is an area where we can play with more once we play with sweet CPUs and some overclocking and stuff. So this should be a lot of fun. We're gonna get out of here. I think that's all we need to see in here, so we can get out. Let's go back to here. Dura 20, is that a monitor or TV? It's a TV. Mr. Tech Gadget says, I mean, Windows 98 still runs on DOS. That's true. That is true. Okay. Well, how fun was this? All right, I want to put the side panel back on, the glass, to give you a hint as to what's going on. First, I want to give some updates about other projects that are happening. I did a stream, what was it, Tuesday, about this Macintosh 2 CX board that I've started working on. And after the ultrasonic cleaner, we cleaned up a lot of these traces nicely, but we lost a pad there, and there's definitely a bad via there. And so this board's going to require some work, and so this is going to have to be another stream in the future. So if you're interested in Macintosh 2 CXs, tune back in the future. We'll do a stream about that. This is III DIY's LC575 board. And so you might notice that it's missing a lot of chips. Where's my, let's see. I forget where I put mine. Oh, here it is. Okay. I also showed off this board. This is a Performa 578 that I got last weekend, I think it was. And I took the caps off. This board was pretty clean. There was some weird sort of gunk around, and so in the ultrasonic bath, recap this thing, and this is totally fine. So this is a regular LC well, it's a Performant 578, which is basically the same thing as a LC 575. You might notice there's some stuff missing on DIY's board compared to this one. So we're missing some RAM. This chip's gone, this chip's gone, these chips are gone, the egret CUDA's gone, the VRAM SIMs are gone. And so this board, when I got it, and I've showed some pictures of that, and I showed the board off on other streams, it was not happy. And so I figure that the easiest way to go about repairing this thing was to strip it. And so that's where I'm at right now. And then I'll go through and check over traces and stuff like that. And so that's where this one's at. This one, you can see we're missing a lot of pads on this area. So there's going to be a lot of trace repair that needs to happen here. I even took off all the little tiny caps that were along here. This thing was in such bad shape. You can see here. I put all the little caps here. This is how I labeled them so that I don't lose them. The old VRAM SIMs, some chips and whatnot, all the RAM that came off of here. So this is gonna undergo some stuff. I've been recording the work that I'm doing on this one, and hopefully it will be its own standalone video as opposed to stream, just because the work that's required on this one is tedious, and so it's not quite conducive to streaming, but it's still interesting, and I think we'll be successful, hopefully, ultimately. Okay, let's cram this crap back inside this case and give you a sense as to what this thing is going to look like in its final state. And again, make sure to check my social medias, and we'll update this project as we go. All right, now let's see if I'm going to break this giant piece of glass. Oh, let's switch to DOI cam. You might be able to see it somewhat better. No, look at that. You can see that it's glass. And here, just to prove that it's glass, that's what it sounds like. I'm really scared since it's kind of cold in here. I'm really scared about this glass. Hey, Francois. That's okay, my friend. Just buttoning up this a little bit to kind of give a hint as to what this is going to look like when we're done. Again, we're going to mount a floppy drive poking out of the back of this thing, and we're going to have a vertical mounted Voodoo 5 5500. I might be able to do this with my other camera too. One second. This thing is kind of heavy with that glass panel and all the stuff mounted inside. Okay, here we go. So there you go. I'll mount this so that it's actually secure. There we go. This is this beast. This is so ridiculous. I love it. We'll mount that so that the video card isn't like dangling in there, but be nice and vertically mounted so that you can actually tell that it's a Voodoo 5 5500. What's the point of having one if you can't show off that it's actually one? So anyway, this is going to require some grinding and whatnot. And again, we have in the back, there's a place there where we'll be able to mount a floppy drive so that it's accessible externally. So yeah, keep your eyes on my social medias. I'm on Blue Sky, Big Bad Biologist, and Mastodon, Big Bad Biologist at bitbang.social. And so keep an eye out for updates on this project. I mean, I'll show it off in streams, but I'm not going to do another stream dedicated to working on this thing explicitly. Next weekend, I don't know, we might try to close out doscember with a 286 board that I've been sort of racking my brains with, but I'm not totally sure yet. I'm sure we'll be back with something silly. We have lots of Macs to work on, so there's always a chance to work on Macs. I might do a bonus stream on like Tuesday or Thursday of this week, just because I have so much work I need to do. May as well hang out and do some of that work. Maybe we'll try to get that 2CX working. So anyway, ooh, Trina's doing a 12-hour mem test stream on December 24th. There you go, Trina. Everyone tune in to that. Tech Ambrosia is streaming tonight. She has a couple of, what are they called? Mini PCs, or like, what's the name of them? Like the little tiny PCs that are meant to be like just sort of faces, but she wants to use them as like home theater PCs, I think. So that should be really interesting. And then check out Dave's Vintage Apple Tech tomorrow. And I don't think I'll be able to be on Dave's stream tomorrow because it's going to be absurdly cold here tomorrow. And I ran out of propane, which is part of the reason why I need to sort of end the stream here, because it's getting very cold at the Big Bad Bench. And so it's time to end this stream. So they're we, as Ron says. Yes. Thank you all so much for hanging out, and I appreciate the heck out of you, and I will see you. Make sure to hit that like button. I appreciate likes. That would be really cool. And have a happy holidays, everyone.